starting the recording and officially starting our course, that is Discipline Agile Senior Scrum Master. And over the period of next 4 sessions that are like 4 hours long, each session, we will be covering all the content required for DA Senior Scrum Master certification. Not only this, but we will also be learning about the Discipline Agile itself. What is Discipline Agile and how it can help you to become more agile on individual level, on team level, and on enterprise level. So what I did is, before going into the actual content of Senior Scrum Master certification, uh, I'm going to give you some introduction about the discipline Agile, or in fact, an introduction to the Agile, especially for those people who really don't have a thorough background in Agile, or if they have a background, but still a revision for them. So what I'm going to do in today's session is, I'm going to cover 4 key topics. I will start my discussion with a fundamental discussion around Agile. What is Agile? How Agile started? Why it was needed to use Agile. We are working to manage the projects or manage the products. And then from there, we will shift our discussion towards discipline Agile, and we'll see that when there are a lot of different methods already available in the market, then what is discipline Agile and how it's different from other methods. Uh, the third topic of today's discussion would be, once we will establish the case for our discipline Agile toolkit, we will be moving towards fundamental concepts of discipline Agile, on what it is based on, and how can we basically define different aspects of discipline Agile. And at the end, we will be looking, if we are discipline Agile Senior Scrum Master, how we will be using this toolkit uh, to determine our way of working. That would be 4 main topics of today. But from tomorrow and onwards, we will be talking more about DA Senior Scrum Master certification. Uh, and this certification is uh, from PMI, as you know, and PMI recently acquired Discipline Agile not long time back, around 3 years ago in 2018. And before that, like Discipline Agile was there for since 2012. And they were offering their own certification, but after PMI acquired it, the whole shape of the certifications are changed, and now PMI has the whole suite of the certifications, including ACP. And most of you guys, if your background is from PMI, you are well aware about ACP. They added 4 more certifications. They are based on discipline Agile and a flex method. Uh, I will be talking about flex method a bit when we will be covering our value stream. Um, so 4 certifications on discipline Agile and flex method. The first one is DA Scrum Master. This is for the people who are not experienced in Agile, or they really don't have any knowledge about Agile, or the people who are like graduates, junior project managers, product managers, or engineers, or software developers. Whereas DA Senior Scrum Master certification is for those people who got some experience in the discipline Agile domain, or they might have already ACP, that is Agile Certified Practitioner certification. Uh, After that, there are 2 advanced certifications that build upon DA Senior Scrum Master certification. One is Discipline Agile Coach. It is still not released by PMI, and we are expecting that DA Coach will be released soon. It requires DA Senior Scrum Master certification as a prerequisite. And then there is another certification, and that is pretty specialized certification. We call it DAVSC. Means DA value stream consultant. The consultant are the people who have skills and knowledge to work on the value streams, to optimize the value streams by improving the systems. And this certification is the combination of both discipline, agile, and flex way of working. Flex is a technique that is developed by Al Shalve. Uh, and again, same like discipline agile, PMI has acquired it, and now they develop this certification called DA value stream consultant. Now let's move further and see what we are going to cover. But before that, a brief introduction of myself. I'm Faiz Rasool. I did my PhD from University of Auckland in IoT. My master's and PhD both were from this uni, and it is one of the good unis in Pacifica region. And I'm associated with the Project Management Institute New Zealand as well. I'm their Auckland branch chair, taking care of their activities, but also I run a school called PM Training School that helps the professionals to get PMI certifications, such as like PMP, ACP, uh, discipline agile certifications, professional in business analysis, etc. I'm certified instructor for PMP, DASM, and DASSM. And that's a brief introduction of myself. And I'm running this school since 2015. And I'm running it. Initially, it was a registered education provider with PMI, but recently PMI has changed its whole structure of the registered education providers. In fact, what they did is they closed down this program of REPs and they started a new program called Authorized Training Partners. There were major changes in this program. The important thing is like what PMI really looking for is they were looking to offer a consistent delivery to its clients, which are like their members, like you guys. Previously, the situation was like all different certifications from PMI was offered by different REPs by preparing their own materials. Now it's not the case anymore. If you are doing a PMP certification or discipline agile certification, all the content comes directly from PMI. And you are also well aware of it. And I believe that most of you guys got the email from PMI. Did you get chance to access the learning portal?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
If anyone didn't get a chance, I would recommend that just go there and access the learning portal. In fact, at the end of today's session, I am going to conduct an activity that is a knowledge check, and it will be based on that learning portal from PMI. Please remember that not only you will get access to PMI learning portal that you already got, but also you will be getting access to our own learning portal, that is PM Training School learning portal. And in that learning portal, not only we will be uploading these video lectures for you guys, so that if you need to consult with any topic you missed or you have a confusion, you can watch a video. But also we will be providing you two things. One is a study plan that will be helping you step by step how to prepare for DA Senior Scrum Master certification in 1 month. And also we will be providing you an exam simulator. That exam simulator is solely based on DA Senior Scrum Master certification content and will be very helpful for you guys while preparing for the certification. I will be providing the access for PM Training School Learning Portal after the training so that we shouldn't be confused. During the training, our focus will be only on the learning portal provided by PMI. So this was brief introduction of myself, but now I will be giving you just 1 minute, don't spend a lot, to think about these questions. And this is basically your introduction. You just need to Tell me your name, your role at work, and what you are expecting from this class. And lastly, one thing from about yourself that no one knows, or at least we don't know. Please take 1 minute, and then we will be doing introductions from you. Well, guys, so I will be starting from your introductions as per my screen sequence. Firstly, I would request Mustafa just to introduce yourself and answer these questions.
Yeah, sure, sure. My name is Mustafa Ghazali, and I belong to a financial industry. My role at work is that I am a team lead for and a senior business analyst, and I manage a team of 5 people. And apparently, I also work as a in agile terminology, I also work as a servant leader for them, because if there are any impediments, I take care of those. And in the organization which I work for, that is Bankal Bilal, we are in a phase of migrating from the waterfall towards the agile methodology. And apparently we are in a hybrid environment right now, where we normally write user stories and then develop on the traditional
Oh,
methodology, that is
ah,
waterfall. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
that's
we are,
pretty.
we are actually in sort of a, a very initial phase, and not all of the projects are being handled like this, but we are working on this.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
yes, and yes, I just stepped into this, certification world last year only, just because of the pandemic, and everybody was in lockdown. So I just had my PMP certification last month only. I just succeeded in that, alhamdulillah. And now,
Mashallah.
I'm looking for, to have more avenues and more certifications to, gain my knowledge, not only, and just to, to have a more successful career. So I believe this class will, be a success could be a success factor for me in this regard. And one thing, apparently you guys don't know a lot of things about me, but one thing which I, normally don't tell anybody, that I am a very big aspirant of, the Amazon seller society, and I'm just about to begin my Amazon seller journey
Wow,
in UK. Yes, I have formed a company in UK,
cool.
and I'm just about to actually my goods are in the sea right now.
Oh,
So
wow, wow.
in maybe 20 days they'll be reaching in England. So this will be my first business journey.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so I'm in
yeah.
parallel working this. Yes. So I
That,
do not share with this anybody, but you guys
so,
are special.
yeah, and yeah, thanks, Mustafa. And like, because now you are in this business, now it will be time to do a lot of marketing. It means that you need to tell with mean to everyone that now you are at Amazon and you are Amazon seller, and it's good. You already identified a good product and it's already mean on the transit. That's a good
Exactly.
thing. And
Exactly.
also, mean your role pretty interesting. And the hybrid way of working you guys are doing, it is like just a new example. Like you are using user stories and then using waterfall method to implement those user stories.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
normally people look on the hybrid aspect of project management a bit differently, but it's good to know about you guys, how you guys are doing. And also, I have seen very few business analysts who are like also like servant leaders. are agile coaches helping other guys to basically adopt agile. It would be a good discussion, and I would also highly recommend you PMI PBA, that is professional in business analysis. It is a thorough certification on business analysis work, uh, as big as detailed as PMP. Yeah, when you get your free time, you might consider it and can start working on it.
Yeah.
And feel free to ask me if you have any question about PBA. Uh,
Sure, sir.
and Farhan.
Hi, Faiz. I'm Farhan, and my surname is Babuji, and I actually am in Dubai right now. But
Cool.
earlier, I spent like good 28 years in Kuwait, where I worked for a company, and now I've moved to a new company. And my role in this new company is the head of IT. And basically, we have companies across like 4 regions in US, Europe, Middle East, and in India.
True.
So I head the IT department. Of course, we have a very conservative IT department with about 10 people, but you know, I'm trying to now implement more of, I'd say, disciplined agile method to do the
Cool.
projects because earlier projects were randomly happening and there was no control over here.
True.
So I'm trying to, and I have this great platform over here because it's version, as we
True.
say.
Yeah. True.
So I can bend it and make it the way I need. So I'm sure this course will be one hell of a success for me because
Yeah.
it's going to get me to implement things in the right way from the
True.
start
True.
rather than, yes, I have done waterfall, I have done Scrum earlier, but those are, again, it was in my past company. So the new one, I am on a virgin territory to blend it. And I have a good team that, they are pretty open to the new ways of working.
Yeah.
So I want to try to get it, as I said, with the disciplined agile method and see how it works out. One thing that nobody knows about me, I'm pretty open. I talk about a lot of things. I wouldn't know what people don't know about me. People know more about me than I know about myself sometimes. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't have anything. But yes, I'm blessed. I got this new job, and let's see in this pandemic how things work out for me now.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Thanks, Farhan, for your introduction. And it's good that you are from IT background. Is it like IT operations or IT software development?
We do everything. We actually a B2B company, so we sell a lot of IT stuff. But again, within that, we are changing the way we work.
Awesome.
So, generally B2B is a very niche market first
Yeah.
because it's not like you advertise and you have billions of people who come to you. B2B is like in each country you need 10, 100 people who will
True.
buy from you. It's not
True.
like millions of people. So
Agree.
it's trying to filter out those 10 companies of 100 companies in every country. So
True.
we are actually changing from a traditional way that we are working to a more data-driven method of
Awesome.
how to find which products are required in which country, who are the buyers in that country, and
True.
how, rather than doing this cold calling, which everybody follows,
True.
we are trying to do match to match calling. So if we know somebody needs a product and you call him, it's more efficient of your time. It's more, being on target rather than just
True.
trying to find a needle in the haystack.
True.
So it's a
Agree.
little complex what we are doing, but yes, we are doing a lot of development
Awesome.
and we are using some ML and AI methods to try to
Wow.
generate these kind of data.
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you are really using some new technologies then.
Yeah. I've done my data science, so I know Python and ML and AI and all that. So we are mixing
That's
all
good.
that, trying to see how it comes out with that.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I think pretty interesting. And the thing is, like, the beauty of discipline agile is it will be helping you in all different aspects. Uh, if you talk about discipline agile and few other frameworks, for example, Safe or Nexus or Spotify or Less, all these frameworks are established to work for the enterprises. They are not on the team level. And the work you are
Right.
currently doing, or what Mustafa is currently doing, I can clearly see that it is not only for software development. It is much beyond that, just software development. If you talk about Mustafa, he's more in like finance area, and where they are not only developing the products but also touching many different aspects of an enterprise. The beauty with the DA toolkit is it will be helping you. Uh, Either you are working on delivery teams, or you are doing DevOps, or you are focusing on some line of businesses or value streams, or much more than that. That is mean enterprise level, including finance, HR, etc. I believe that it would be a very good discussion when we will be looking on DA landscape and see that how it can help you.
Right. Plus, the only idea is, we are trying to convert IT. Normally, IT is in every organization looked as a cost center,
Yeah,
and we are trying to change that into a revenue or a value
value
stream,
generation. True,
because
agreed.
that's how we can show value of IT.
True. That's
So
why.
that's what we are trying to do now.
Yeah, that's why nobody listens to IT, because like they are just spending the money. They are not generating the money.
Right.
That's the belief, but like this belief is changing very fast. In fact,
Inshallah.
yeah, and I can clearly see that the world has changed. Now all the organizations has become like IT organizations or software organizations. It used to be said that in the start, software is eating the world. In fact, what happened is software has become the world. Everything is now software. You really cannot say that an an organization is like anything else but except IT organization. IT is core of it. Yeah, thanks a lot. And
Right.
then Fahim.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Fahim Jaffer. As I mentioned, I'm in Sydney, Australia. Um, I've got a couple of things that going on. So I work as a portfolio manager in one of the organizations over here in Sydney as a public service, and I also have Propect Consultants as my project management training company. I'm disappointed, Mustafa. You had your PMP. Otherwise, I would have trained you and I would have made some money from you. But that's fine. But congratulations on that.
No, I've
I
just,
do.
I'm just started. So, sky is the
Oh,
limit.
you haven't got the certification yet, have you?
No, no.
I got the certification,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
that's what
want
I'm
to do
saying.
other
So,
certifications as well.
otherwise, I would have invited you to my session that is starting on 6th of September, but that's fine. But yeah, that's what I do. You know, what will make this course a success for me? I have read about disciplines and I'm trying to brush up my skills just so that I can sit for the exam and get on with it. And I would like to teach discipline guide as well. One thing you don't know about me is because I don't want to share. Why should I tell you something? Listen, there are a lot of things. I don't know. You basically don't know me, so maybe by the end of this course, if you ask me this question, then I can ask you. But so I am. Thanks, Faz. Thanks, everyone. Welcome. Hoping to have a good time with you.
Yeah, surely. Yeah, thanks a lot, Fahim, and we are looking forward to learn from your knowledge and your experience working as a portfolio manager. And yeah, we can expect quite a lot of discussions from you. Adnan.
Yes, Faiz. My name is Adnan. I am from Oman, of course. I work in the airport maintenance. What makes this success for me is actually, first of all, you, Dr. Faiz Rasool. I'm really interested to attend this course with you, as I
Oh, yeah,
attended one
thanks.
course before.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to share my skills in the project management as I took my first PMP on 2018.
Nice.
What you don't know about me is I have attended 2 courses with Fahim Jafar.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yes, this is maybe a secret thing, but I share now.
Wow.
Adnan, I was wondering if I missed your name. I think one of us done with PMI KSA chapter, if I remember correctly.
Yes, of course. Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much for remembering me.
That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Adnan. And I mean, I can clearly see your interest in learning, and that's what really needed to move forward in the life. And then we have Muhammad.
Yes, Mr. Rasul, Faiz and all. My name is Muhammad. I am from Sultanate of Oman. My role is senior engineer in airport system at Oman Airports.
Cool.
I am looking to gain as possible skills and information from this course in leading projects and teams.
Awesome.
I don't have any secret to hit.
Then I might try to ask one. Did you already get your PMP?
No, I did the preparation courses, but I didn't complete the
PMP.
exam.
Yeah. Seriously, I was not asking it for Fahim, for sure. I am just asking just to know more about you, like in a sense that how much you are aware about PMI as an organization, because like PMI is like it's a community by itself. It has its own culture, its own values, its own thinking. So, and discipline agile is again part of PMI. So whatever we are discussing, we are thinking in terms of like in terms of what PMI thinks about agility, about business agility, etc. So, Mohammed, are you working like in a traditional way or in a hybrid way or more agile way in your organization?
Currently, I can't tell after يعني the course, يعني but now I think it's a combine of both traditional and يعني we have some guys they working with us. They have this one the BMBs, and they have the experience on the side. So they share also some of the skills or information.
Agreed. So we already have 2 people from aviation industry. That's awesome. Now introductions are completed. Just to move further, just one note, or you can say maybe a warning for you guys, because like we are going to talk about Agile. Agile was firstly established, I think in 1990s. Yeah, sorry?
2000.
Oh, no, mean Agile. I'm not talking about Agile Manifesto. I'm talking about Agile. It's mean Agile way of working. It was initially established or used in 1990s, and it was firstly started in the software industry, in software project management, or you can say software products. So my warning is when you will be learning about Agile, still there are a lot of different terminologies that is from software background. So if your background is not in software, initially they might be very new for you, but believe me, since 2010 onwards, Agile is not only used in the software industry, but much beyond that. Now, Agile is everywhere. It is in the public sector, in the government, in the retail, in HR, in finance, in IT operations, in engineering, in healthcare. You will find Agile everywhere. Okay, so it means that Agile is as important for everyone as it was important for the software developers or software project managers. Now, Before going further into agile way of working, here there is one diagram. Maybe few of you who attended a course with me already aware of this diagram. Would anybody like to comment what is this diagram, what it is showing?
I think this is the old life cycle of IT projects.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's an old software development life cycle. Basically, this is called our famous waterfall uh, project management technique for software development. Okay, uh, it is serial, it is predictive. Its story starts in the start of 20th century when one of the American, Patrick Ray, a genius guy, a manager, uh, what he thought is uh, he thought that the people who are working in the industries, for example, in the construction, in the manufacturing, or in the shipping industry, etc., all these people, they are lazy. They are layback people. They are not the one who think by themselves. They are not the knowledge workers. They are someone who doesn't know how to do work. So what they did is they said that on one end we have these blue collar type people, and on the other side we have some genius people who are managers, who are like exceptional, intelligent, genius, and these people who are like smart, they should be developing some methods, some ways, some processes that can help these workers to do their work. And that was the start of a waterfall technique, or you can say the technique of defined processes, where smart guys used to develop or define the processes, and then the workers adopt those processes. Uh, it was accepted worldwide. Everybody adopted this way of working, that is defined way of working, a predictive way of working. And once software development started back in 1960s, 1970s, uh, their projects, they also adopted the same technique. But the people who are working on the softwares, the programmers, the developers, the testers, business analysts, they were not just blue collar people, not those lazy layback people who will be just following a particular defined processes. Soon they start realizing that, okay, it's not going to work. For sure, we need to find ways where we can be, where we should be able to work closely with our clients, with our stakeholders, so that we can fulfill their needs. We shouldn't be following a defined process, especially uh, when the requirements are getting uncertain and uncertain, when the technologies are becoming more and more disruptive. This way of working is not going to work for sure, because what happened is, in the software project management, because of internet, because of access to reach to the information, the client's requirements, the stakeholder requirements, they become more and more changing instead of more defined. Okay. Uh, However, previously in the defined processes, as shown in this diagram, and we call it predictive software development lifecycle, uh, you can clearly see that this is pretty serial, pretty sequential, or you can say that it is type of V-shape. V-shape is just another name of waterfall, but is used in software industry. And what happens here? Firstly, we gather the requirements from our stakeholders. Maybe we spend some good amount of time. Most of us, you are from business analysis background, you are well aware that how much time it requires to gather the requirements, to elicit the requirements in such a way that they become useful. Okay. Once requirements are gathered, they are refined, they are documented, they are verified, validated, and prioritized, then they become the scope of our project. Okay. Once requirements become the scope of our project, based on those requirements, we define the architecture of our product, our solution, or our software. And then following that architecture, we design the product, we implement it, and once our implementation is completed, then we go for testing. Testing is like in software industry, it is called testing. In any other industry, it is normally called quality management activities, including quality assurance and quality control. Uh, what we do is whatever we developed here, the whole software or the whole product, for each part of it, we write the unit tests to assure that, okay, that component of our software or our product is well written. We do it with the help of unit testing in software industry, and then we confirm our design with the help of functional testing, for example black box testing or white box testing, and not white box testing, black box testing. And then if our software is going to be part of mm, already existing solution in a system. For example, if a bank is already currently running some products or some systems, we call them legacy systems, and our current product is going to integrate with our current suite of our previous suite of the legacy systems, then we also do some integration testing that confirm that, okay, our architecture of the product or solution, it will fit well with our current architecture of the enterprise. And then we also go for acceptance testing, that is basically our the testing from our users. For example, usability testing or exploratory testing, etc., to confirm that the solution we developed, it is fulfilling the requirements or not. But this is a very traditional way of working. The reason we spend quite a lot of time on decomposition and definition, and then we do the testing, we do the integration and validation of our solution. And because like now world is changing very fast, people are learning very fast, and also the available technologies, they are becoming available and available much more quicker. One day one technology fits for our work, within 2 months we start thinking of maybe a different technology will be useful for us, etc. And another important thing is now agile people or the software project management teams, they start thinking about the competitive advantage of the clients, and they feel that the changing requirements, even during the construction phase, okay, the changing requirements during the construction or development phase, it's not bad, it's good. It is for the competitive advantage of our client. It means late changes are considered good, they are not considered bad. They are considered that, okay, it will help our clients or our customers a competitive advantage over its competitors. But in this structure, in this V shape of working of software development, once we have already spent a lot of time on requirements or architecture development or design, we really don't want to change in our design. Okay, so this way of working was not really working for the software projects teams. So in 1990s, what they did is they start developing the methods that can be like much helpful for changing stakeholder needs. At that time, Scrum was developed. Similarly, DSDM was developed. Some crystal methodologies were developed in 1990s. So, I mean, people already start thinking about, we must be working closely with the customers, we must be taking care of their changing needs, and we should be working in such a way that where if technologies are changing, we should be able to cope with this disruption from the technologies. As a result, around 17 smart minds from software project management industry, they gathered together on vacations because they were smart, they were not like us, they were Even on their holidays, they were just thinking about their way of working. So during the holidays, they sit together and they said that, okay, we are going to adopt agile way of working instead of traditional way of working. And they defined agile way of working with the help of 4 core values and 12 core principles. And I believe that most of you are already aware of these 4 values. Any one of you who never saw these core values of Agile Manifesto published in 2001.
Oh, sorry.
So everybody aware of this manifesto. And I believe that all of you know that uh, this manifesto says that these are 4 items, and then on the left side these are 4 items, where there is a lot of values in the a lot of value in the processes, in the tools, in the documentation, and negotiating contracts or following a plan. But our focus would be mostly on the individuals and interactions. Those individuals could be our team members, could be our stakeholders outside our team. And then where we believe documentation is pretty important, but our measure of success would be our working software, something that should be useful for our uh, clients or customers. Similarly, instead of focusing a lot on like scope and locking the scope, locking the contract, our focus would be more on customer collaboration, where we will be working closely with the customer so that uh, we can provide the competitive advantage to our customer. Similarly, instead of following a well-defined plan as we do in a waterfall way, what we will do, we will be responding to change, and we can only do it once we are working in an iterative and incremental fashion instead of following a particular plan. Mean we will start working and then we will see that how things go. We will start working on the high priority requirements, and then we'll see that, okay, if new requirements are coming and if clients are interested in those new requirements, then we will be doing those requirements instead of gathering all the requirements upfront. Any question till here?
Sure.
Now let's talk about those 12 agile principles, which are like pillars of Agile Manifesto. I'm not going in deep of them because I believe that most of you guys are already aware about them, but just for the sake of sufficiency, we are going through them. And I would request Fahim, would you like to read like first 4 principles for me?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Satisfy the customer, welcome change, deliver frequently, and work together.
Yeah. So here, these 4 principles, they are like 4 out of 12 principles of like Agile, and they are talking about our focus should be on customer satisfaction. And for that sake, we will be working closely with our customers. That number 1. Also, we will be delivering value to our customers. Number 3, we will also consider only those measurements that will be focusing on the outcome instead of output. Because like if you are project manager, you are well aware that when we are basically measuring our performance for our teams, what are the important things to consider? Should we be considering that, oh, everybody is coming on time or leaving on time, or how many of the people are working on how many items, etc.? What would be our measure of success? Okay, that's important. And the measure of success should be our customers, if they are going to use our solutions or not, how happy they are with our solution, mean the outcome instead of outputs. Similarly, we are very happy to welcome change. In fact, we will create an environment, we will foster an environment where not only we welcome change, but prepare ourselves to welcome that change. Our team shouldn't be creating any fuss about the change. There are many different methods in Agile, I believe you are aware of. For example, one method is Scrum, other method is, for example, XP. Okay. Scrum is a method. Yeah. XP stands for extreme programming. That is also one of the agile method. In Scrum, for example, they cater the change. They say that, okay, we will be completing our projects in iterations. And for example, if they are 2 weeks iterations, okay, whatever new requirement you want to give, we will not have any issue. And we will be catering that new requirement in our upcoming iterations. For example, if you give or requirement or a change in your requirements here at this point, they say, okay, fantastic, we are in this iteration. Once that iteration will be finished, we will be catering your requirement, your change request in the upcoming iteration. That is maybe only after 4 days. Okay, similarly, XP, they also welcome the change and they say that, okay, we are working on the iteration, for example, 1 week iteration. Instead of 2 weeks, we are even, I mean, believe we in fact believe in more shorter iterations so that we can cater changes more quickly. Okay, and they say that, okay, if you are giving us any change at this point, okay, that is, for example, third day of the week, we are more than happy to cater this iteration straight away instead of waiting for the next iteration or next sprint. So all of the agile methods, they believe in welcoming change and preparing themselves to manage that change. Similarly, deliver frequently, that is saying that we already have a look that we instead of working for like 3 months or 6 months in phases like we do in waterfall, we believe in working in shorter iterations on small batches of work, small user stories that could be completed in 1 week to 4 weeks of time. That is a recommendation from Agile Manifesto that our iteration must not be more than 4 weeks. And then work together. Here, not only it is talking about how team will work together and if possible in a co-located fashion, but also the team will be working closely with the customers, or in other words, the technology people will be working closely with the business people for the generation of business value. And then Adnan, can you please go through next 4 principles?
Yes, trust and support, face-to-face conversations,
Yeah.
work software, sustainable development.
True. So, for example, trust and support is like, we really don't do macromanagement in Agile. As you guys know, the people are like more like a servant leader. And in fact, discipline Agile promotes a new way of leadership called host leadership. That is even more than servant leadership. I will be talking more about it soon. And here, the teams are like more autonomous, more empowered, self-organizing teams where we show trust to our teams to choose their own way of working. Teams are the one who will be choosing what they are going to do. I mean, I'm not saying, sorry, what they are going to do, how they are going to do it. Obviously, the requirements will be coming from the business people or from the clients or from the product owner. So we trust on them, and in the form of leadership, that is servant or host leadership, we provide them all the support so that they can be successful in their work. Similarly, face-to-face conversation, it is only because like this is the richest medium of communication, that is face-to-face, and especially if face-to-face conversation with the help of some enablers, for example, with the help of task boards, with the help of whiteboards, or some other enablers. what we prefer in Agile is our teams should be co-located if possible. Okay, it's not easy nowadays. Many team members are virtual, and because of COVID, even the people living in the same city, they are forced to work virtually. But uh, we can help our team to improve the communication with the help of some sophisticated uh, collaboration tools, for example, Zoom or MS Team, etc. But again, it is not a replacement for our face-to-face conversation where product owners, Scrum Master or Agile coach, they work closely with the teams, and the team has access to the stakeholders, and stakeholder has the access to the team through uh, Agile coaches or through product owner. And then there comes working software. That is very, very important. Our measure of success should be the software we are developing. Again, guys, I'm emphasizing Agile was initially developed for software industry, so that's why it is still showing working software for many industries. You might not be even working on the software development. You might be in the IT operations or maybe in a different domain, but Agile is still equally applicable to that domain. However, this terminology, working software, is from the software domain. In fact, what Discipline Agile did is they said that, okay, in 2001, when this Agile Manifesto was published, uh, it was published for software industry, but life has moved on, and Agile has been adopted vastly. It has been adopted everywhere. In fact, working software has now just become one part of our success, or you can say that our product. Instead of using working software, the terminology discipline agile use is called consumable solution. Mean a solution that can be consumed by our clients. It could be software, it can be the hardware on which our software is running. It also include the documentation. It also include any process improvement that is resulted as a result of this solution we developed. Okay, and even it could be change in the organizational culture or organization structure, everything included in the consumable solution. So it means that our team should be providing a consumable solution that should be much more holistic, not only including software, but thinking about the hardware. For example, if you're developing an electronics product, in that case, hardware is equally important as software or firmware. Similarly, documentation in the cases of compliance when there are some regulatory requirements from the government. Similarly, if some processes are improved as a result of our consumable solution, that is again the responsibility of agile teams. If there is a change in the structure of the organization, again, it should be part of our consumable solution. In fact, our DA toolkit, it helps us to focus on each bit of it. But important thing to remember is our measure of success shouldn't be that, okay, we have limited number of team members, or all the team members are very busy all the times. They are doing a lot of work. No, our measure of success should be more towards like the outcome, the working software, or in a better term, consumable solution. And then there comes sustainable development. Agile really doesn't mean that, okay, do a lot of work. Okay, everybody is busy all the time. Everybody is coming at 8 o'clock and leaving at 6 o'clock. No, it's not the case. We, in fact, believe in sustainable development. We really don't want that our team should be worn out. I have seen many examples where people adopted agile and they start doing some daily scrum, etc., and then they start saying that we are agile team, and as a result what happened is like they were too much busy and soon they worn out and they got tired of daily scrums or retrospective meetings or product demos or following all those agile or scrum ceremonies that are standard, because they felt that okay, it was too much of work. Okay, so agile really doesn't mean that people should be doing extra work. They shouldn't be doing double work in half a time. No, we more believe in sustainable development where teams shouldn't be tired. They shouldn't be working more than 40 hours, for example, etc. So this is also a key pillar of agile mindset or agile manifesto. And then Farhan, next four.
Continuous attention, maintain simplicity, self-organizing teams, reflect and adjust.
Yeah. So these last four principles they are talking about, for example, continuous attention to technical excellence. That is very, very important. Uh, what happened recently, and we will be talking about it in upcoming slides as well, that people start thinking about agile is like doing some daily stand-ups. Agile is more about doing work in an iterative fashion, or showing the product demo at the end of 2 weeks, or conducting a retrospective meeting at the end of 2 weeks. No, in fact, that's not the case. Uh, the agile is more focused on technical design, excellent technical design, and our attention towards should be towards those uh, designs, those ways of methodologies that should be helping the teams to be more successful in less time. For example, ATD, that is one of the technique. Uh, we call it acceptance test driven development, or TDD, that is test driven development, or uh, TFT, that is test first development, uh, etc., etc. Similarly, refactoring, this is again used in the software industry. And what are these techniques? These are the techniques that help us to build the quality in our products. Because this is again the lean thing. Lean believe in the quality built in. Okay, a lean ways of working or agile way of working, uh, uh, they both believe in the same thing, that quality should be assured while we are working. Quality should be built in, and all these techniques, ATD, TDD, TFT, refactoring, pair programming, mob programming, the purpose is our quality should be built in, our feedback cycle should be short. Okay, and the software or the product we are developing, it should be not only simple but also should be effective. That's basically technical excellence. What we have seen in most of the frameworks that are methods which are helpful to implement agile, for example Scrum or Safe, etc., their focus is more on the structure. Their focus is more on planning, sorry, more on the meetings, more on the ceremonies, and they try to make it as simple as possible. They are simple, no doubt, but they are not enough to do the proper work, because solution development is not easy. Okay, the highest paying people are the software engineers. Why? Because they are doing the hardest thing in the world. If we are giving them a very simple method that is incomplete, uh, it is not helping them anymore. What we really want to do is we want to give them a proper guideline that can help them to choose their own way of working. Not only it should be talking about how you should be working, but also talking about technical aspects of your work, uh, team aspect of your work, and in fact much more than that that we are going to cover soon. And then maintain simplicity. Maintain simplicity means that reduce the amount of work not done. Mean develop a solution and develop a solution in such a way that it should be still effective, but you should be doing minimum work. Okay. In fact, this concept is from here, refactoring, and another terminology called technical debt. Technical debt means your errors, your issues. In software industry, they are called technical debts, or also one example is like they also called software bugs. Reducing technical debt, that can come from software bugs, that can come from your way of working, that can come from your requirements, that can come from your technology, from your business. Your technical debt should be reduced. That's number one. It will help you to make your thing simple. Similarly, if you are practicing refactoring, it will be very, very helpful to develop a product that should be simple. Simple mean simple to change, because we believe in change. What we really want, if there is any change, we can implement that change very simply, okay, in an easy way. It shouldn't be like break our whole structure, the whole architecture of our solution. That's the meaning of simplicity. And then self-organizing teams, you can use a better word called self-management teams. Self-managed teams are those teams who can organize themselves, who can do planning by themselves, and also who can decide about how they are going to measure their success, how they are going to work with other teams, and how they are going to work within an enterprise environment. So these are self-organizing teams. We will be talking more about it, and we will see that how discipline agile looks on self-organizing teams. And then there comes our last principle called reflect and adjust. In fact, reflect and adjust is basically uh, on that famous PDCA life cycle, the plan, do, check, act. Okay. Plan for something, do it, and then reflect upon it and adjust yourself. We will be talking more about it. In agile way of working, we always keep on doing it by shortening our feedback cycles. And we will see that in agile, our feedback cycles are not at the end of a phase or at the end of a project. They are much more shorter. They are more like in seconds, in hours, or you can say in days or in weeks. I mean, much more shorter feedback cycles as compared to our traditional way of working. So this is like an overview of agile principles. Any questions?
No, Faz, but you did a very good job of explaining the 12. I was making some notes. There's 12 principles. I must say, some of the things I've never thought about in this way. So good stuff, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Paim. Anyone else? Any question? Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Good,
Yeah.
good enough.
Yeah, thanks. And let's move further. I will quickly pass through this slide. This is just saying that when we are doing, when we are thinking about agile, what mostly people do is that they learn about a method and then start doing it. That's not an effective way of working. Firstly, it's important that we should accept that mindset of agile. Agile mindset is more important than choosing a particular method. So no doubt where it's important that we should learn how to do agile, but the effective way of doing agile is firstly being agile. Mean believe in what is given in Agile Manifesto with the help of 4 core values, 12 principles, and then there are, in fact, nowadays like more than 30 or 40 methods available that can help you to implement agile. Not only implement agile on the team level, but they are available who can help you to implement agile on the enterprise level. Uh, some examples of the methods that can help you to implement agile on the team level. or for example, Scrum. Any other example?
Kanban.
Yeah, Kanban. That is basically lean, or you can say flow-based agile.
Yeah.
Yep.
Work in progress. Yeah.
Yep. Any
Safe
other
is there. Safe agile is there.
Which one?
Safe. Scale
yeah.
agile.
So
Scale
here
agile is there.
yeah, true. Here I'm talking about agile methods for team and agile methods for enterprise. So some examples of agile methods for team are Scrum, Kanban,
XP.
Lean.
yeah,
Lean.
lean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lean
that is,
Kanban system. Yeah.
yeah, and also for example DSDM.
DAS.
Yeah, DSDM, that is dynamic system development methods, and there are a few other methods like we call it FDDD, that is feature driven development. It was established back in 1990, and then uh, soon people start realizing that we should expand it from team level to multiple team levels, or in fact on the enterprise level, and there are many methods available, and the examples are
DA is the first one. Safe. DA. Yeah, go for it. DA is also enterprise.
Safe, DA, Spotify, large scale Scrum, Scrum at scale, Nexus. All these methods are helpful to implement Agile on the enterprise level. Okay, this classification was important because, like in upcoming slide, we will be talking about all these. In fact, you can clearly see that Scrum was initially developed for team level. From here, it expanded with the help of less, that is large scale Scrum, for the enterprise level. Similarly, SAFe was initially developed to resolve the problem how to implement Agile on the enterprise level, and then how they broke it down to team level. So Scrum started from bottom to up, and SAFe started from top to bottom. That's just one thing. However, by the way, discipline Agile, what they did is they started in the middle to make it more effective, or make their journeys quicker and shorter, both on a team level and also on an enterprise level. This is on a side note and not a part of our discussion. Okay, now this famous diagram. This is one of the simplest method to implement Agile on a team level. Famous Scrum. It was established back in 1990, even before Agile Manifesto or Agile movement that is started. And in fact, one of the major milestone was Agile Manifesto in 2001. Scrum is a very simple method. It is well-structured method, and it helps the teams to do the Agile. Okay. However, the Scrum method is a prescriptive method. When I say prescriptive method, just like doctor's prescription, it tells you what to do. For example, it says that, okay, your team should be 7 ± 2. Okay, mean your team member should be from 5 to 9. It says that, okay, you should be doing 2-week sprints. Okay. Also, they talk about 5 ceremonies or 5 meetings. They also talk about particular artifacts. Okay, very prescriptive. And also to make themselves unique, they chose a unique name that is from the game of rugby. And I'm not sure how popular is rugby in the Middle East, but in Australia and New Zealand, it is very, very popular. And in fact, New Zealanders are very proud that they have one of the best, isn't it? Are you following current rugby matches between All Blacks and?
But hardly watch TV. I've got so many things going on, but I've not even watched cricket. But
Okay, yeah. But nevertheless, the Scrum name came from rugby, and they purposely chosen this name to show that they are unique, unique, different than traditional, and it's all right. Uh, but now, firstly, understand Scrum. How many of you who really doesn't have any idea about Scrum?
Sorry, can you ask the question? Sorry, I missed that first. What was the question?
Yeah, I mean, how many of you who really doesn't have any idea about Scrum method?
If you can explain more.
Yeah, I would love to explain more, and but there is also a comment from someone that there should be a break for prayer. And do you think we can do this break in 8 minutes? Because like,
Yes.
is it fine or it will be late? I'm not sure. You can tell me. I'm very
Please
I
chat
open.
think
in.
it should be fine.
Yeah. In 5 minutes. Yeah. Either we can finish this Scrum thing or we can do it after namaz thing. I think we can do it after namaz because like we really don't want to hurry.
Okay. Okay.
Is it fine? Yeah,
Yeah,
because
fine.
someone requested for prayer break, so we can go for a break and we can come like in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Cheers.
Sure.
Uh,
I'm fine. I just realized that there was a message there.
yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Thanks for joining and finding out.
No, I just checked the chat, so that's fine. Don't worry.
Okay, okay. Someone commented on chat.
I'll keep an eye on the chat. That's fine. Don't worry.
Thanks a lot. And in fact, you can basically switch on your mic and can tell me, because like when my focus is on like talking
Yeah,
about
I
the
know.
things, sometimes I forget about the chat.
Yeah, I
Sorry about
know.
that.
Same thing with me. Yeah, I hardly
Yeah,
look at the chat. I'll
true.
keep an eye. Don't worry.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So this is a Scrum process we are explaining, and we have already reached to sprint retrospectives. Retrospectives are like self-reflection. We do it at the end of each sprint, and it focus on three things. Teams focus on three things. One is product. Okay, how can we improve our product delivery? The second component they focus on is how can we improve our process if there is any improvement needed. And the last thing is how can we collaborate better. So it focus on three P's that are product, process, and people. Okay, normally this meeting, again, as I told you, the Scrum is a prescriptive method. Normally they tell that how long this should be the meeting. So normally it is preferred that it should be 70 minutes to 2 hours of meeting. Okay, and that's basically sprint retrospective, and we keep on doing this and keep on adding new features and keep on demonstrating our product to our customers till we reach to the end of our release and we release our final product. But important thing here is the Scrum method only focus on teams, mean a single team. This method is for a single team of doing project management, and they say that it works very good when it is used for smaller teams, that is like 5 to 9 people maximum. Okay, however, it really doesn't talk about what happens before that, what happens on a business level, on a portfolio program level, a product management level, how project charter is established, what about the business case, what business analysis activities are being done, and how this project is prioritized. The whole envisioning phase is missing in the Scrum. They focus more on the delivery end of it. They don't focus on the envisioning end of it. That is basically Scrum process. Any question about this process?
Yes, Doctor, I need to, consider this as a very silly question, but, actually this confuses me since quite long. What is the role of a project manager in this whole cycle? Because, we normally see a Scrum Master over here, but, normally I've seen in certain, agile projects as well, that the project manager presence is also there, and there is a separate dedicated Scrum Master is also there. So where does the project manager fits into this whole equation?
Yeah. So anyone would like to answer this question?
I don't mind. I can take a view. I can give you a view. But normally in agile environment, you don't have a project manager. That's the traditional approach of the agile, where different from. But in the new hybrid environment, project managers are coming in somewhere between product owners and business to manage and work with the Scrum Masters. So project managers look after the business prioritization, vision, what Faz was referring to, whereas the Scrum Master focuses only on the team, make sure whatever is agreed in the team, whatever is agreed in the sprint, that the team delivers, sticks to the commitment that they've done. So that's actually.
In fact, in most of the agile methods, there is no role like project manager, but because the reason behind is self-organizing teams. If you know about like project manager or PMP, the traditional way, project manager is the center of all the activities, and everyone else is stakeholder for the project manager in any project. It could be team, that is project team, or could be internal or external stakeholders. However, in agile way of working, it is the team who is managing the project. It is not the project manager who is managing the project. Most of the activities of project managers are divided into these three roles. Main product owner, who is taking care of the requirements, gathering requirements, and a bridge between business and technology people, and then Scrum Master, who is ensuring that work is being done smoothly, and the team who is managing the whole work in a self-organized fashion. So in fact, in pure agile, there is no role of project manager, but as Fahim said, that in a more pragmatic agile, or I would say that in a more hybrid way, project managers exist, but mostly they exist during envisioning phase instead of engineering or delivery phase. So this is delivery end. Okay, and before that there is a whole envisioning end where there could be project managers. So project managers can do agile, but maybe with a different naming convention, and the closest to me is again the Scrum Master or agile coach.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Now let's move further. We have seen there are some methods exist even before agile movement started in 2001, the Agile Manifesto, or there are many other agile methods that are developed after that. Similarly, discipline agile, it was established back in 2011. Okay. The thing is, when there are already a lot of different methods, then why discipline agile, and how it helps us differently than other agile methods, and if that help is useful or effective or not for team level. If you look on LinkedIn or different blogs that are popping up nowadays, previously focus was quite a lot on the Scrum or Safe or Agile. Now people are talking about if all these methods are really effective, if the people, the developers, the teams, they really like the Scrum Masters or Agile coaches, is there any need of these methods or not? What's the reason behind it? In fact, what happened is, there is a famous Agileist, one of the author of Agile Manifesto, Martin Fowler, with many others. He developed that manifesto, but he said that the aim, the intention of that manifesto was awesome, and it helped the software industry a lot. In fact, the software industry developed much quicker than many other industries, and we can clearly see it. The only innovation in last 20 years that is like huge in size is in the software industry as compared to any other industry. And one of the reason was people started adopting agile way of working. However, what happens is as a result, many different agile methods are developed. Many consultancy companies are established. Many consultants are there, agencies are there, alliances are there, and everyone is promoting their own method. And in fact, it has resulted into agile industrial complex, where we have a lot of different consultants, different alliances, different trainers, masters, coaches, etc. And what they are doing, they are telling the people how to do agile. Okay, that is totally against the principles of agile. And the principle is team should be the one who is choosing their way of working. There shouldn't be any agile coach or scrum master who should be telling the people that, okay, you should be only 5 to 9 people. You should be doing daily scrum for 15 minutes, no more than that. You should be running your sprints or iteration only for 2 weeks, etc. Or you should be expanding your agile to a enterprise level or scale agile uh, to the business level in this particular way. And that's the only way, that's the best way. These are the best practices. In fact, there are no best practices in the world. uh, Best practice for one team or one organization might not be a best practice for another organization. The reason, because the context is very important. Each team is unique, each individual is unique. How they interact with the other teams, how they operate within a business, and even each business is unique from the similar business in the same industry. And this business is unique from all other businesses. Its structure is unique, its culture is unique, its way of working is unique. So you really cannot say that one shoe fit for all. In fact, it should be the team, it should be the people who should be choosing their way of working according to their context. And they call it context count. However, agile industrial complex resulted in, they call it method prison or framework prison. Few also call it method jail or framework jail. Mean we are trapped into it. Okay, uh, either we are doing Scrum or Safe or Spotify, etc., and people are telling us how to do it. It might fit our needs or not, but it should be some other way around. Coaches are good. There is no problem in coaching. There is no problem in guiding, but again, they shouldn't be enforcing anything on them. They shouldn't be pushing the tools, the practices, the methodologies on the teams. Team, according to their context, should be adopting those methods. That's the biggest challenge that is coming along, and we have seen it clearly that the technical people, the developers, the engineers, they really don't like it. They say that we are doing it because like it is told by our senior administration that okay, you have to do Scrum or you have to do Spotify or Safe. Okay, it's not really helping us, and this is very common debate that is going on among the technical people. And also another issue is like these thought leaders who are running these alliances or these consultants or these trainers, they are mean, deliberately, they are not talking about the issues that are coming along that teams are facing, especially the method that is imposed on them. Okay. The reason, because money is not there. Money is where? When they will adopt a particular method. Okay, so that's an issue that is coming very fast. And in last 20 years, this has come like everywhere. What happens in the senior managers or the CEOs, what they do, they ask the people what other people are using. oh, they are using Scrum. Now let's use the Scrum and impose on the whole organization. Are they adopted SAFe? Okay, let's adopt SAFe. In fact, instead of going back to their teams, to their people, and asking from them that how to choose their way of working, they are imposing ways on them. So that's one issue. The other issue is projects. They are very, very important. PMI promotes it too. Project management. But there are a lot of issues when we form the teams when we start a project. It really doesn't result in the teams who are high performing teams. Teams take a lot of time to become more stable and long standing. So another issue that is coming along, especially around technology projects, that funding even is released on a project basis instead of product basis. What Discipline Agile does, or what the Agile thought leaders are promoting, they are saying that we must go for long-standing stable teams instead of making the teams for a project. Bring the work to the teams. Teams should be there and we should be bringing work for them. And then another thing is, recently, because of these prescriptive methods, our focus has has been more on on the ceremonies, like the product backlog refinement, sprint planning, daily scrum, or product demos or retrospectives, instead of the actual thing. That's why what is happening is, like, the technical people, they are like really hating all those ceremonies, really hating with all those roles and all those artifacts. These agile, so-called agile guys are imposing on them. Uh, One of the important aspect of Agile is our focus should be on the technical excellence, and the technical excellence always come from the team itself. And we have already seen in our previous discussion that what does it mean technical excellence when we are doing some technology projects. It talk more about how to build the quality in, how to make things simple, but also how to reduce the technical debts that are coming from both from the business, from the stakeholders, from the technology, from the teams, and also how to do the refactoring. Refactoring is very, very important in terms of technical excellence. Anyone aware of what is refactoring? Any comment on refactoring?
Yes, maybe make it simple to change.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, it is one of the good comment that how to make things simple to change. Refactoring is basically when we are developing our product, okay, and when we are adding our feature, the structure of our product, our software should be in such a way that it should be easy to change. And when we say easy to change, it means that if there is a change request coming from a stakeholder, okay, and we need to upgrade our software, we have to improve the structure of our software. It should be in such a way, for example, in a modular fashion or in a microservices fashion, that it should be easy to incorporate the change in the code. But remember, it should not be impacting the observable behavior. Observable behavior mean, I can explain it with the help of an example. Previously, when websites are being upgraded or web portals are being upgraded, normally they used to upgrade it like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning, because like site is going to shut down and we are going to upgrade it. Okay, and sites are normally not available during that time. But on the other side, if you think about Amazon, if you think about to Microsoft or Google, in fact, changes are being made into their products in seconds. But on the other side, for customers or client who are basically observing the behavior or who are using those products, they even never felt that something has happened in the architecture or in the code of the application itself. Okay, so it means that when changes are coming, our code should be written in such a way, following good code standards, that it should not impact the observable behavior of the user. User should keep on using the app and changes are being made in the infrastructure or architecture of the code. Okay, so that's basically refactoring. Any question about it? So this thing, in fact, encouraged the authors of Discipline Agile toolkit, you can say framework. I won't use the word framework, but nevertheless, if you call it framework, still it is not a prescriptive framework. It is more pragmatic framework. But we will keep on talking, calling it Discipline Agile toolkit. The creators of Discipline Agile toolkits in 2011, they thought about it. And they were like of the same thoughts as we discussed in the previous slides, and same thoughts as Martin Fowler is talking about: Agile Industrial Complex, or prison method prison, or focus has shifted from technical excellence towards the ceremonies, etc., etc. So what Discipline Agile says that one method doesn't fit for all. Each organization, its context is different. Each team, its context is different. Each individual is different and unique. It results in a unique culture of a team, unique culture of an organization. And for that, one method might not be the best method. And the best method would be only that method the team will choose. Okay, so this is about context count. And another important thing that Discipline Agile says that where we believe that teams should be choosing their own way of working, we are not against the coaching, we are not against about the guidance, but the purpose should be empowering the team to choose their own way of working so that they can continuously improve. They shouldn't be doing agile transformation that, okay, one-time transformation and after that everything is same. But it should be more like a continuous improvement, like a Kaizen cycle, and the team and the organization should become a learning organization instead of like an organization who just did the agile transformation. That's another thing Discipline Agile promotes. Also, they talk about because our context of each team is unique. And if you are talking about a technology enterprise where there are many different teams, that could be dozens of teams, that could be hundreds of teams working on different features of a product or on different products, it's not compulsory that everybody is using only one method, for example, Scrum, or using any other method, for example, Kanban, or using Spotify, or they are using any traditional method, etc. What we say, what Discipline Agile promotes is that different teams can use different methods. It's not compulsory everyone should be using Scrum. It's not compulsory everybody is using Kanban or Lean or using Crystal methods or DSTM. One team may be working on Scrum. Other team might like the Kanban more. Another team is good at like who are creating some prototypes may try to use a different life cycle. So what Discipline Agile does, it provides you the choices of different life cycles for different context. It provides 6 different choices that we are going to talk about today, and we will see that how different those 6 different choices will help you to do different type of work. For example, if you are working on a project, which method is best? If you are working as a long-standing stable team, uh, working on the products, which method works best? In which case Kanban will be better, in which case Scrum will be better, and which method you should be using when there are like many teams in a program, I mean many sub teams in a program, which method will work for you? And in case if you are going for some experiments or some prototype generation, because prototypes are very, very important to check that, okay, the product we are going to develop will be useful or not. Okay, which life cycle will be helpful for you, etc. So what DA does, it provides you the choices. Any question here? Just one comment here. I just put 1, 2, 3, only 3 things that make Discipline Agile different from some other Agile methods. However, Discipline Agile is more explained with the help of its principles, its guidelines, and its promises that are much more than just those 3 things. That is just for the sake of your understanding that why Discipline Agile toolkit is different than other methods, especially the prescriptive methods. Now, before moving further, let's define Discipline Agile. What is Discipline Agile? Fahim, would you like to read for me? Fahim, can you hear me? No, I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you.
Sorry, I've got 2 screens working at the Discipline Agile is an agnostic hybrid that leverages strategies from a variety of sources.
There are 2. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. There are 2
Sorry,
important.
I thought you want me to read all of it.
That's all right. Thanks a lot, Fahim. There are 2 important aspects. One is agnostic and other is hybrid. Discipline Agile is an agnostic hybrid toolkit that leverages strategies from a variety of sources. Why it is agnostic? Because it really doesn't promote any particular prescriptive method. It really doesn't say do work like this or that, do daily scrum for 15 minutes or doing a 2-week sprint, etc. No, nothing. It really doesn't promote any method either on a team level or an enterprise level. Okay, it doesn't say that, okay, Kanban is best for you or Scrum practices are best for you. What it says, context count. Scrum could be very good for one team, but might not be another team. Another team might like to use Kanban, or another team would love to use extreme programming, etc. Okay, so it is agnostic. Not only agnostic, it is very pragmatic. Pragmatic in a sense that it gives team to choose. It really doesn't say that, okay, if your team is team of 12 people, break it down into 6 and 6, because Scrum says 5 plus minus 2. No, sorry, 7 plus minus 2. Okay, it really doesn't say this. So it is very agnostic. Okay, it also the terminologies that are used in Discipline Agile, they use very common terminologies. They really don't go for unique terminologies and doesn't promote any terminology. They doesn't say that, okay, use the terminology iteration or use a terminology like sprint, etc. No, nothing. You can use the terminology you like the most. Okay. On the other side, it is hybrid. Hybrid means that what Discipline Agile guys did is they did all the heavy work of understanding all different processes like DevOps, extreme programming, Scrum, SAFe, PMBOK, Spotify, Kanban, Agile modeling, data, UP, that is unified processes, traditional, and all different processes. They did all the hard work, and based on that hard work, they chose the best practices. Not the best practices, I mean, they identified the practices that are used by all these different methods and provided you in a one toolkit that can help you to choose the method you want. Okay, so in other words, it is hybrid. It is the combination of all different methods available in the market, but it is provided in the form of a toolkit that will be very, very handy for you as a team or senior team member to work with your team to choose the best methods that match with your needs, match with your contexts. Because like DevOps, they offer very good methods, very good agile practices. Similarly, extreme programming, they focus quite a lot on the technical excellence, and many different technical practices are given in extreme programming. Similarly, Scrum, they provide quite a very simple and sophisticated structure for the team for the delivery. Okay. Similarly, SAFe expand the Scrum on a scale level. It's not easy for a team or a professional or even for a coach to go through all those methods and choose the best methods for themselves. So all the hard work, the heavy weight is basically heavyweight work is done by these guys and provided you in a nutshell, that is DA process toolkit. Now, let's talk about context count. In fact, the organizations, especially medium to large scale organizations, they are just like complex adaptive systems. Reason? Because each individual in a team is unique and it results in a unique team. And when this unique team interact with another team who has like its own context, it results in a unique relationship, a unique culture. Similarly, this team, when collaborate with another team in the same organization, they may collaborate in a different way. It results in an other context, so on, so forth. Similarly, teams collaborating with other teams, departments collaborating with other departments, it really results in a complex adaptive system. And we really cannot understand that complex adaptive system with the help of like sum of components. And I believe most of you aware of this theory that a system is, the holistic system is much bigger than sum of its components. Mean, if you just add them together, it really doesn't result in a system or in an enterprise. You cannot define an enterprise with the help of sum of its components. It is much more than that. It involves the interactions, the collaborations that result in unique culture, unique structure of any organization or its system. So it means that one method really doesn't fit for all within the same organization. Another important thing that Discipline Agile promotes, and we talked about it in the previous slide, is guided continuous improvement. Now let's have a look on it. What does it mean, guided continuous improvement? How many of you know about this cycle? It's a very famous cycle, isn't it?
Yes.
PDCA. This cycle was proposed by Demings. Demings was American. He was invited by Japanese company Toyota back in 1970s to improve their manufacturing processes before Demings. the quality of Japanese products were not considered very good, and there was a famous terminology, Jap is crap. Okay, but once Demings went there and he looked on the system, he was a methodologist. He developed the methodology for the sake of continuous improvement called Kaizen. Okay, and that methodology talk about how can we continuously improve our way of working. Okay, initially he proposed this method called PDSA, Plan Do Study Act. Okay, later he changed it with the Plan Do Check Act, PDCA, and it is called PDCA cycle. But later in his life, he again came back to study, and Discipline Agile promotes PDSA. Okay, because study is much more comprehensive term than checking. Checking is just, you can say, analysis, but study is much more than that. It includes not only analysis, but also assessment and evaluation. What this cycle says, it says that to resolve any problem, firstly, when you identify that problem, the first step is you should identify potential solutions. Initially, you might identify multiple solutions, for example, 1, 2, 3, and then you can choose one solution, and then you apply that solution or try that solution. Okay, that is a do component. After that, once you applied, after maybe 2 weeks or a month, you check the effectiveness of that method. If this method is effective, keep on doing it. If it is not effective, abandon it, and then share your learning, do the reflections, go back, and then check another solution, identify another solution, and keep on doing it. It results in continuous improvement. Now,
Well, just one question.
yeah, please.
The arrow from share learning,
Yeah.
shouldn't it go back to identify potential solutions rather than identify the problem?
And the thing is, like, you might like to look on your problem again. This is called pivoting. You pivot back, okay, and you start from the start. You look at the problem itself again. Maybe you couldn't understand the problem well. That's the only reason.
Because again, you're going back to identify problem, not
Yeah.
checking the solution too. So it's like, again, you might come back.
Yeah.
And then you're really moving out of the PDSA cycle.
So basically what it is saying that you might not understood the problem well, because like it is also very important that before identifying any solution, you should have a very good understanding of your problem. Once your solution is not working and you share the learnings, from that learning, you might identify that, okay, we might not even understood the problem properly. Okay, so you always keep your problem in mind. That's the first thing to keep in mind before identifying your first or second or third solution. Okay, and it could be given in the form of, for example, a problem statement. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what Discipline Agile says, the thing is, like, this life cycle is beautiful. This cycle itself is beautiful, but this cycle says that, okay, once you try the solution and check its effectiveness, there are chances that solution could be failed. Okay, and in Agile, there is a famous terminology, failing fast, and purist, Agile purist, they love failing fast. But do you really think our sponsors, our bosses, they really love this? They really want our team failing fast again and again and again? They really don't like it. What they really want is to succeed more often than failing fast. Failing fast is much better than failing late or failing slow, no doubt about it. But no one really want to spend money on your experiment so that you should be fail and fail again. What they really want is they want you to be succeed more often, and it could be done once there should be some guidance available while you are identifying the solution and trying the solution. Okay, and this guidance could be available maybe with the help of an experienced coach. But you know very well that when you talk about real experienced coaches, they are very few. Most of them are, they did a certification and they have become the agile coach. They are not like exposed to with quite a lot of different experiences, and because it is agile itself is very new, it is very tough to find experienced agile coach. But if you can find one, he or she would be helping you to succeed more often as compared to failing fast or failing often. Also, another way is if you can have that guidance in the form of, for example, a toolkit. For example, discipline agile toolkit. You you have a toolkit with you. You are a junior agile coach. You can always consult with that toolkit that will be helping you to improve your performance. And once we will be looking on the toolkit today, you will be amazed at how thorough, how comprehensive is this toolkit and how effectively it can help you uh, to improve your decision making, to improve the different processes you are doing, the different activities you are doing, the different solutions you are choosing, and the practices you are adopting as an agilist. So, what does it provide you guided continuous improvement? Because it says that, okay, if you are using a standard way or an old way of working, your performance really doesn't improve. That's why you are looking for different ways of working. But if you go and adopt a prescriptive method or framework, for example, Scrum or Safe, okay, then what happens? During learning, your performance goes down, but it improves, no doubt about it. Agile helps. However, after some time, your performance will become like more stringent, more static. Okay, because what you are not doing continuous improvement. You are not running PDCA cycle. You are not reflecting and going back and choosing a different method. One day, I mean, for one release you chose Scrum, and you are not looking back to improve how to improve the Scrum, or maybe XP is better for us, or Kanban is better for us. Scrum might not be working for us. If Scrum is forced upon you or a prescriptive method is imposed upon you, you will keep on doing, your performance will improve, but it will remain same for a long time. But if you are continuously improving, it will be helping you to keep on improving. But what about if a guidance is given to you, okay, that can help you to choose and evolve your way of working? It will really help you to improve your performance, and you will become a learning professional, a learning team, or a learning organization instead of an organization who just adopted agile way of working or any particular way of working. That's called guided continuous improvement. And what happens is it result in more success than failures. This is traditional agile way. But this traditional agile way say, we does the experiment, we might pass or fail that experiment. Okay, and as a agilist, we love that if we can fail fast, it will help us to save a lot of resources and money. But it is not the purpose for failing fast again and again. The purpose is, what we really want is, we want to do experiment, but we really don't want to make that experiment failed. And if we have guided continuous improvement with the help of an agile coach, experienced one, or a toolkit, it will really help us to succeed more often, but will reduce our instances of failures. Okay, that's the that's guided continuous improvement help us. Any question so far?
Wes, just going back one slide, if you can, if this guided continuous improvement, till when do you think it can keep going up? Wouldn't that also at some point become stagnant and then be, flat?
Yeah, so it depends when you will stop learning. If you will keep on evolving your way of working, you will keep on improving. And you know that always your context change, always your problems change, always the requirements from the users change. It means that each time you have to have some guidance to do work according to the needs. For example, if you are using just Scrum method for a different problem, different issues, your performance will be stringent. However, if you have like a proper uh, continuous guidance, there are strong chances you will be catering all different issues.
Okay, thanks.
Well, so that was the case why discipline agile and how it is different from some other methods. I really didn't touch a lot into discipline agile. I just mentioned three main points that make discipline agile different from other methods. However, now we are going deep into discipline agile itself and going to look at that on which foundations, on which pillars discipline agile is based upon. Okay, now we are diving deep into discipline agile. If you have any question before that, I'm happy to answer.
I'm good, thanks.
In fact, discipline agile, it can be explained very well with the help of the key roles, the key people in discipline agile settings, the mindset of discipline agile that could be explained with the help of three things: principles, guidelines, and another thing is promises that DA does, the DA teams does with the clients. Also, discipline agile could be explained with the help of flow, uh, or in other words, the choices discipline agile provides, choices of life cycles that can help the teams to choose the right life cycle, the right method according to the need of their context. So, as I mentioned earlier, it provides you the choice of 6 life cycles. So discipline agile also could be explained well with the help of life cycles. And lastly, and most importantly, the toolkit itself. And this toolkit is explained with the help of process goals. What happens is, mm, let me explain you. Mm, when we will understand the mindset, we will understand the flow and different roles and responsibilities in discipline agile settings. We will cover the foundation of discipline agile. Okay. Based on that foundation, a toolkit is developed. This toolkit that is developed, it is based on process goals. Process goals mean you understand what are the processes. Process mean the activities we do, the work we do. Okay. What discipline agile says that our focus is when we do those activities, what are the purpose of those activities? What are the purpose of those processes? They call them process goals. And they say that any team, okay, especially the development team. Sorry for my painting because I'm using mouse. Especially the delivery team, the development team. Discipline Agile call them DAD, DAD teams. DAD team stands for Discipline Agile Delivery Teams. These are the teams who work on the solution development or the product development. Okay, and when they are doing solution development, they are doing different processes. Okay, what are the goals of those processes? In fact, when Discipline Agile was initially developed, there were 21 processes or 21 activities a Discipline Agile delivery team does while developing the solution. Okay. Recently, they added 3 more process goals. In total, they become 24 process goals. But these 3 process goals are very, very new. They are added in July 2021. So it means that I'm not sure in current slides they are talking about these new 3 process goals or not, but for sure we will be talking about these 21 process goals plus these 3 new process goals. Okay. And each of the process goal is explained to you with the help of goal diagrams. Mean each process is shown with the help of this type of diagram. I'm not going in depth, just drawing it for you that each process, when we are doing each process or activity, we make some decisions. Okay, so it means that under each process, there will be multiple decision points. That could be 1, 2, 3, 10, 15, any. Okay, and for each decision point, what DA does, it provides you the agile tool and practices to choose from. It really doesn't say, okay, this practice is best or that practice is best. However, it gives you recommendation, but what it does, it asks you to choose by your choice. No doubt it provides you the recommendation, but it doesn't force you to choose any one particular agile practice for any decision point for the sake of process goal or process outcome. Okay, this is a whole toolkit. It is very detailed, very sophisticated. We are going in depth of it. But at the moment, let's start our journey with other 3. That is mindset, people, and flow. Discipline agile mindset. As I explained you, it could be explained with the help of 8 principles, around 7 promises and 8 guidelines. I would request Adnan to read principles for me.
Yes. First one, delight customers.
Yeah.
Be awesome. Context counts. Be pragmatic. Choice is good. Optimize flow. Organize around products and services. Enterprise awareness.
Yeah. So I'm not going in depth all of them, but the focus of agile, of discipline agile is delighting customers. And delighting customers mean those days are gone when we are just meeting the expectations of the customers. Now, customers like when not only we meet their expectations, but exceed their expectations. But again, it's not a gold plating. We are not talking about the gold plating. We are talking about when we are fulfilling their requirements in such a way that that can delight them, not by spending extra money. Be awesome as a team member. As a team, we should be an awesome team who will be working in an awesome way, not only within team, but with other teams. Similarly, context counts. We might use Scrum method, we might use Lean method or Kanban. We might be going for some exploratory life cycle, or maybe we are working in a program life cycle. In any case, we will be choosing according to our context. And then be pragmatic. Discipline agile doesn't promote pure agile. It doesn't say that, okay, our team should be like 2 pizza size team that should be filled with should be fed with 2 pizzas. No, or 7 plus minus 2, or our daily scrum should be like 15 minutes only. No, we need to be pragmatic. As per our need, we can do it. If our daily stand-up meeting can go for like 25 minutes. There shouldn't be any issue as long as team is happy. Similarly, choice is good. Again, it is talking about the life cycles. Not only about the life cycle, but it also provides you the choices how to do DevOps work. It also helps you how to improve your value streams and how to make your enterprise as an agile and learning enterprise, covering many different aspects. In fact, all the aspects of any enterprise. And then optimize the flow. Um, this concept is linked with the value streams. When we are working on the value streams, we are not only one team is working on that value stream, there could be more than one team, there could be more than one department who are working on the value streams. Um, we must optimize the flow by improving the system of our value stream. Mean our communication should be less and less from, I mean, in a vertical fashion. Mean we did some work, we are sending to our manager and he's sending to his senior manager, work is coming back, it took a whole 2 weeks time. Okay, instead of our focus should be on the customers, on generating the value for the customers, and we should be optimizing that value stream by reducing the waste, by minimizing the handoffs, handbacks, and many other bits of it. We are looking on it. And then organize around products and services. We understand that most of the organizations, they release funding on project basis, but it will be much more effective. Instead of project teams, we should have more uh, we should have teams that are gathered around or organized around the products. We should have long-standing stable teams where work should be brought to the teams instead of, okay, work has come, now let's make a team. Some contractors, some permanents, etc. No, it should be more long-standing teams. Then advantage would be we we will not be passing through all different phases of team formation, and our team will already synchronize with each other in a like a high performing team. And then enterprise awareness, this is talking about, like, for example, uh, uh, when we are a development team or a delivery team or a project or a product team, we should be working in an enterprise aware manner. We should have a very clear understanding what our organization requires, what are our strategic objectives of the organization, how other departments are working, how can we work with the other departments or the teams of the other departments. Our project or product objectives should be aligned with the objectives of our portfolios or PMOs or programs, or on a higher level with the organizational strategic objectives. So these are the key principles DA believes in, and also they make some promises. And I would request Mustafa, can you please read those promises?
Yes, please. Create psychological safety and embrace diversity, accelerate value realization, collaborate proactively, make all work and workflow visible, improve predictability, keep workloads within capacity, improve continuously.
And we can only do work better if we create some psychological safe environment. And when we say safe environment, it could be like uh, not only psychological safety, but also like the safety to ask the questions, to make the decisions, and also and you can say that uh, diversity, everything. I mean, team shouldn't be afraid of doing the right thing. They should have that safe environment where they can question, where they can learn, where they can make the decision, and where diversity is basically incorporated and diversity is respected, etc. And then accelerate the value realization, that is like produce work in a frequent manner, in an iterative and incremental fashion, and then collaborate proactively. Uh, in the end, it should be our team success instead of individual success. And we can only do it when we will be collaborating as a team and we are believing in the team success instead of individual success. Uh, make all work and workflow visible. Again, this is one of the important thing that comes from the trust. Okay, because like we are self-organizing teams, but on the other side, and this trust is established on us. It's our responsibility. We should be showing that the work that we are doing, and we can do it by using different techniques. For example, by implementing a task board or a Kanban board or an information radiator, where everything should be visible for our stakeholders. Again, the purpose is not that they are micromanaging us or they are holding us from the neck. No, the purpose is so that they can see what we are doing, and if there is any bottleneck, how that bottleneck could be resolved. And then there comes improve predictability. You all know that Agile was formed for the projects which are very uncertain, very unpredictable, but the purpose of doing Agile work is to improve the predictability. That's what everybody loves, especially our sponsors, our business people. They wanna make they want to see the performance in a more predictable fashion. They really want to see that how team is doing, if they are going to complete the work as per product roadmap or not. Improving predictability is very, very important. Similarly, keep workloads within the capacity for the sustainable development, and then we should keep on learning and keep on improving in a continuous fashion. So these are the promises we make as a disciplined agile uh, team members. And then there come some guidelines. Adnan.
Yes, validate our learnings, apply design thinking to relationships through the value streams, create effective environment that foster joy, change culture by improving the system, create semi-autonomous self-organizing teams, adopt measures to improve outcomes, leverage and enhance organizational assets.
And we can only make these promises when we can follow some I mean, good practice guidelines. For example, we should keep on validated our learnings, and this validation should be through a shorter feedback cycle, could be in minutes, in days or weeks. Similarly, we should be applying design thinking, and I believe that you might aware of design thinking. It is more about like while focusing on the user, thinking about the user while doing your designs, instead of like think developing a design or solution as per your mind. You are keeping user in your mind. This is called user centered design or usage centered design. And then attend the relationships through value stream. As I mentioned earlier, in value stream there could be more than one teams, more than one departments involved, so we should be working with them in a collaborative fashion. Create effective environments that foster joy. Teams should love to work with each other. It shouldn't be the case, oh, after this release I'm leaving this job. Uh, Change culture by improving the system. Uh, uh, it's not about like when something is not working, it's not because people are not doing right. In fact, that's the system that needs to be improved. And that's the focus of Flex, where we improve the systems. Similarly, create semi-autonomous self-organizing teams. This is very, very pragmatic guideline. In fact, what happened in pure agile, the people who do the agile work, they really don't like the governance. Okay, they say that we are self-organizing people, we are autonomous people, we are the one who make the decision. There shouldn't be any governance, there shouldn't be any milestone, or there shouldn't be any asking from the governance. But that's not the fact. He who will pay the money will always ask the questions. They will always ask what's happening, what about the artifacts, if they are produced or not. Where we believe that autonomy, okay, uh, mastery means your skill, and the purpose for the work it result in high performing teams. Okay, these three things result in high performing team, but you will always be governed. However, because you are awesome people, okay, you must be governed in a good way, in a way you deserve. Okay, in other words, you should be governed through a lean governance. This is a terminology Discipline Agile promotes. And once you will have governance, it means you are not fully autonomous, you are semi-autonomous, but you should be governed in a good way. That's basically the guideline. Adopt measures to improve the outcomes. That's very, very important. We shouldn't be measuring our team performance on the basis of outputs, but for the sake of improving our outcomes. There is a whole section on it. In fact, when I was commenting that there are three new processes, one of the process goal that is added by Discipline Agile this July is measure outcomes. Measure outcome is the new process. We are going to look at it soon. And then there comes our last guideline, leverage and enhance organizational assets. It's not easy, it's tough. It's very easy to develop something from scratch, from new, but if you are going to improve your current organization assets, going to refactor and reducing the technical debts or the problems in your current organizational assets, you are doing a fantastic work. And DA promotes you that you should be using and you should be improving your organizational assets that already exist. That's the real value you can add in your organization. Any questions about these principles, promises, and guidelines?
Friends, I need to drop off to do something. I've got a call, international call with someone in the Middle East. So,
Yeah, sure.
just so that you know, are we continuing for another half an hour or?
1 hour.
Okay. So, okay.
Yes, I thought we were doing 3 hours or 4 hours class.
4 hours. 1:30
Because
to
you said 1:30 to 4:30, so I thought it was 3 hours.
yeah, that's
4:30. My understanding was 1:30 to 5:30. I might did a wrong calculation. My math must be very bad.
Okay. Because I thought it was 3 hours class, but if it's 4, okay, we can continue.
Is it fine?
Yeah, we'll pull it through.
Yeah, otherwise what would happen is like we won't be able to finish it because like we need at least 16 hours of training. And, yeah, so sorry if I say 1:30 to 4:30, it must be 4 hours class.
Okay.
So let's move further.
I'll catch you later. Or dial back in if you guys still just need to take that call.
Surely. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Well, guys, now let's talk about Discipline Agile, but this time we are talking about in terms of different roles that Discipline Agile advocates. Again, Discipline Agile is a pragmatic toolkit. It doesn't force you to go for these roles, but they say that if you use these roles, it's good. And the roles are, the key roles are 5. Out of these 5 key roles, 4 roles are team roles, and 1 is our stakeholders that are our mostly business people, or they could be IT operations or IT support staff, but nevertheless, any stakeholder outside of our team. In team, 3 of the roles, 1 is team lead, other is team member, and the last one is product owner. All these 3 roles are same as the Scrum. And as I already told you, Discipline Agile is a hybrid toolkit. It get benefit from all the different methods and all the useful roles. So these 3 roles come from Scrum. Team lead is same like Scrum Master. However, it has much more than just a Scrum Master. That is servant leadership. We already talked about it, Mustafa. Product owner, same. Stakeholders proxy or voice of the customers, taking care of product backlog and the requirements. Team members are our development team, could be engineers, softwares, plumbers, technicians, anyone could be your team members, your financial officers or your business analyst, your system analyst or BI guys, anyone could be your team members. And another important role is architecture owner. What is architecture owner? Basically, he or she could be part of your team, need not to be a separate person, but role is separate. Role means that this role has a responsibility to take care of your whole solution architecture. Mean the product you are developing, there should be someone who should be responsible of the whole architecture of your product, of your solution. Okay, because like architecture is very important aspect of your solution. We are going to look on architecture owner in more detail. However, at the moment, our focus would be only on one role, and that role is team lead. When you will be DA Senior Scrum Master, DA SSM, basically you will be a team lead. Okay, this is what comes under the role of DA Senior Scrum Master. You could be a senior engineer, you could be a project manager, you could be senior team member, but most importantly, you should have better people skills. You can deal with your team, you can deal with the stakeholders, you should deal with many other people, or DA call them supporting roles. For example, you should be working with some specialists who might come and join your team for a short while. Could be some quality assurance team members, we call them independent testers, could be domain experts, for example, from legal, from HR, from finance, from any different domain, okay, from procurement, or some technical experts, for example, database experts, or someone who is good in exploratory testing, etc. Or could be integrator that can help your solution to integrate with the current solutions or the legacy solutions of your organization. For a team lead or senior scrum master, it's very important that you should have superior people skills. When I say superior people skills, it talks about more like your leadership skills, your communication skills, your professional skills, your emotional intelligence, empathy, how you communicate with the people, how you use, how you exalt uh, the important things, how you do the conflict management, how you do the contract negotiations, how you resolve the problems, so on and so forth. So you really need not to be a separate person. You can be team lead, who could be a team member, like a senior developer or a senior engineer, but you should have superior people skills. And that's why, Mustafa, when we were talking about when we were,
Servant lead.
yeah, servant leaders, normally servant leader is who just serve the team, then team does the work. Host leaders are a bit different. Host leaders are not only they, just like a host, when guests come to your home, not only you serve them, but also join them when required. Maybe join them over the food or join them in any activity. It means that uh, you are not only servant leader, but also uh, you are a host leader as well, who will do the work, not only doing the scrum thing. Now, let's move further. There was a message from one of the person who already joined this session. So he will be joining us tomorrow, like Fahim. So I got a message from him. Now let's move further.
Yes, just a question about the host
Yeah,
leadership.
yeah.
Is what you said is exactly that, but host leadership is something, if you more define it, is something like, as you said, you join them, but you have certain rules also where the teams cannot bypass those rules.
Oh yeah, that are like
So
yeah. Normally
just
though.
to add to that, even it comes not just being with them and helping them, but you also have certain rules which they do not bypass, and they have to go through you for those rules or
Mhm.
those decisions.
Okay. Now, when we talk about team rules, or we normally call them team charter or ground rules. When mostly teams are established, especially in agile settings, when there are self-organizing teams, senior team members, team lead, everybody, they sit together and though they establish those rules. Okay, they determine that how to communicate, how to resolve the conflicts, how to escalate the issues, etc. So everything could be written in the team charter or the ground rules. When I say written, it could be formal, it could be very informal. Obviously, each team requires rules. Rules help the team to move quickly towards high performing team stage.
Yeah, I understand that, but there are certain governance rules that need to be applied to every team, which, for example, people don't get along. For example,
Mm,
if you
yeah,
want to get rid of a team member, it's
yeah.
not just like because the team has decided you get rid of it. There are things
Oh
that
yeah,
you
yeah,
can look around, or so what I'm trying to say is that there are certain rules
yeah.
that the host leadership sets, that these are the rules that you can do and these are the rules you can't do. And
Yeah,
so if you just take a party thing, like I call you home, I can invite you, eat, drink, do whatever, but you can't go into my bedroom, for example.
yeah, true,
It's just a rule. So
true,
it's
true.
just that's what I'm trying to
Agree.
say.
Agree. Now the thing is, discipline agile promotes this. They say that we must be working in an enterprise-aware manner. We should be following enterprise policies, procedures, rules, and regulations. Also, we are self-organizing, but still we are not very autonomous. We are still semi-autonomous. We will be governed. But the good thing is, if we as an awesome team could be governed in a lean fashion in a good way, okay, where focus should be on the outcome measures instead of output measures. I fully agree. Each organization have their rules and that are like applicable to the team levels. Here I am talking more about the work thing, where there are enterprise environmental factors or constraints, they will be there for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's move on.
yeah. There is another thing that DA doesn't promote is there is no particular terminology that DA asks you to use. In other words, they they use very common terminologies and ask you if you want to use them, use it. Otherwise, you can use any other terminology. For example, DA doesn't call it sprint but call it iteration. In fact, XP, they also call it iteration. But Scrum or Spotify method, they call it sprint. Mean that 2 weeks work. Similarly, DA call team lead, that is same as a coach in XP and Scrum Master in Scrum and Agile coach in Spotify team. Uh, Here, the whole table talks about different Agile terminologies uh, that is uh, recommended by DA but not imposed on you by the DA. For example, we are already looked at iteration and team lead. Similarly, Daily Scrum, they don't call it daily Scrum. They say that we will be using common term that should be acceptable or understandable, not only for the team, but also for the other stakeholders. For example, if someone is coming from the waterfall background or someone is from the finance sector or HR sector, they might not have any idea what does it mean daily Scrum, okay, or huddle that is used by Spotify. Daily coordination meeting is something that shows that, okay, it means that this meeting is conducted for the purpose of coordination on daily basis. Similarly, retrospective, it is common throughout different methods. Team is common in most of the methods, but Spotify either call it squad. Squad is just like a sub team, and tribe is like a team on a program level. Architecture owner, this is a new role, mostly not used by most of the techniques, but XP still call it coach. Okay, mean the same coach or Scrum Master is also responsibility of architecture owner. However, Discipline Agile defines it as an individual role. And then domain expert is like a marketer, or could be banking or financial expert, anyone. Okay. XP call it customer, Scrum call it customer, Spotify call it customer. Important thing to understand in this slide is there is no standard in Agile. Everyone use their own methods, same like Discipline Agile, but Discipline Agile try to use the more common terms, and that's all. And then there comes another important aspect of Agile, that is choice is good. What Discipline Agile says, it says that each team is unique and they have all the rights to choose their own way of working. That's why we provide them choices which are well proven, and they can choose any of them as per their needs. For example, what they do is they provide two choices to adopt agile way of working. Similarly, they provide two choices if you wanna choose the lean life cycles or Kanban life cycles. Okay, we can do a detailed discussion if you wanna distinguish between two. Similarly, if your team is, instead of working on already existing product, if going to develop a new product or its prototype, okay, or you are going to experiment or going to explore a new product, then it provides you the choice of using exploratory life cycle. This is called, or this is basically borrowed from lean startups. And then if you have like a bigger team, like maybe team of 50 or 60 team members, where you divided your team into sub teams, then the life cycle that that is like given by Discipline Agile is called program level life cycle. Now let's focus on these bits, these two, Agile and Lean, and how they are different from continuous delivery Agile and continuous delivery Lean. This life cycle is exactly like Scrum, not exactly, similar like Scrum, but much more than Scrum. Okay, this life cycle is very much useful when your funding or your team is on project basis. Okay, mean you have a funding for a project that could be for 6 months, for a year or so. Okay, this life cycle works best for you. However, if your team, instead of a project team, has become long-standing stable team and working on the products or services where basically you are working there for maybe for a long time, for 2 years or 3 years, and you are keep on improving your product. For example, Amazon Web Services, or for example, Google, or any other product, and you are keep on improving it and keep on adding new features by providing the continuous delivery, then this life cycle would be helpful for you. That is continuous delivery, agile life cycle. On the other side, if you are new to agile, and you really don't want to change the whole structure of your team, your organization, but you want to improve your performance, then one of the best way is to adopt this life cycle. We call it Kanban life cycle. This is lean life cycle. Okay, here you really need not to transform the whole thing, but you start working in an agile and lean fashion with minimum change in the organizational structures. This is pretty good for the teams who are new to the agile or lean way of working. And then this life cycle is similar to this life cycle. Again, this is for those teams who adopted Kanban or lean life cycle, okay, and now has become stable, long-standing teams who are delivering the value continuously. This is the life cycle every team wants to be in. This is like the best life cycle out of these 4 life cycles. Long-standing, stable teams delivering continuous value in an automated fashion. Now, have a look on these 2 life cycles and how they are different from each other. Agile life cycle is also called time-boxed agile. Here you have this constraint of your iterations that could be 1 to 4 weeks long. I mean, normally you do work in iterations or in sprints. At the end, you go for next iteration, you do the planning for next iteration, and you complete that iteration, so on and so forth. And at the end of each iteration, you are producing value incrementally. However, in lean, there are no iterations. It is flow-based. We also call it flow-based agile. Here, you keep on working and producing the value throughout, okay? And you do your iteration, you do your planning on need basis, you do the product demo on need basis, you do the retrospective on need basis, you do the daily coordination on the need basis. Not only this, but also there are some other features which are part of lean or Kanban. For example, Kanban board, for example, reducing the work in progress, for example, making things visible, etc., etc. So that's the difference between flow-based agile and time-boxed agile. Important thing here to know is discipline agile provides you the choices to choose according to your needs. Not only it provides you these choices, but also uh, it tells you how to choose them according to your needs. That we are going to cover in the next or upcoming slides. Any question on this slide?
So, first, from what I understood with Kanban, the only difference is the work in progress has a limit, uh, which is agreed upon, rather than the normal flow method, which might not have a limit in the work in progress. Is that right?
No, in fact, there are seven differences between a Kanban and Scrum. For example, Scrum or Agile, they really don't require any board. Kanban requires the board. That's number one. Number two is, for example, work in progress. And this there should be a limit on work in progress. More work in
Right.
progress, we are slow. Okay, more multitasking, and we have to switch.
Balance.
Yeah, and waste will be increased. Similarly, another difference is between agile and lean is no fixed time. Planning time is not in the start of iteration. You can do it once you need it. It is more on demand basis than you are following a time box. I mean, you have to do a sprint planning in the start of each sprint, isn't it? Okay,
Right.
you have to do product demo at the end or retrospective at the end, but nothing is like this here. Okay. Also, there are many other things. I think there are total 7 differences. I don't remember all of them. Another difference, for example, is it promotes uh, stop starting. Okay, stop starting and start finishing. Mean you should stop starting new and new work. Your focus should be more on
Start
finishing
finish.
the work. Okay, so these things that make it different from a particular Scrum or time boxed agile life cycle. I can share maybe a video or something that can clearly explain all the 7 differences, but I remember only 4 or 5 of them.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Now, I hope you understood that these 2 life cycles are for project teams. These 2 life cycles are for the product teams, long-standing stable teams. This is when you are doing some experiments, developing a prototype. And this one is for your when there are multiple teams or sub-teams.
But
Now,
can we mix either one with each other?
sorry.
Can I like take the program team
Oh, yeah.
method with the
Uh-huh.
continuous delivery agile method
Oh,
or program with continuous delivery lean and mix and match it?
you can always do it. That's number one. For example, you can combine these two with the help of Scrum Ban. That is combination of Scrum and Kanban. Similarly, in program, there will be sub teams that will be using either Scrum or Kanban, or they may be using Scrum Ban. Similarly, once they will become long-standing teams, they will be either using continuous delivery agile or continuous delivery lean. There is no problem, but important thing would be you have to do team management and especially the release management, because different teams working on different features, different releases, and you have to do the whole thorough release management. And program lifecycle helps you to do proper release management, schedule it, plan it, and mean many different tools and techniques in release management.
Right.
Yeah. Now I'm not going in depth of all of these life cycles. We will be keep on touching them as we will be discussing in future. But here, I just want to discuss one life cycle. And this is, as you can see, Agile life cycle that is for the project teams. In fact, the purpose is I really want to show you how it is different and much more than just a Scrum life cycle. If you look on it, okay, uh, you have already looked on Scrum lifecycle. What do you think? What's the difference between two?
The portfolio management and the product management is
Mhm.
one.
Yeah,
Iteration.
I believe there is inclusion of IT operations as well in this, right?
yeah,
Demo. Even there is initial release plan and initial requirements before the work items or the whatever we call it, the product owners product
agreed.
items.
True, true. One thing is Here, what discipline agile promotes, it promotes enterprise awareness. Mean the team who is doing the development work, they should be working in an enterprise aware manner. They should be working closely with the portfolio management teams from where our vision and funding comes, and product management team from where our product roadmaps and guidance come. Okay, so this is important. Similarly, here on this end, they should not be only developing the solution, but working with the IT operations team and release management team so that they can effectively release the solution into the production, where IT operations and support teams should be working with the customers. Okay, so these are the two differences. And the third difference is in the terminologies. As I mentioned earlier, the terminologies are a bit different than Scrum.
Usually,
Yeah, and most importantly, this bit.
the inception,
Yeah,
construction.
you know, guys, Scrum are pure agile people. They don't believe in phases. They say that phases mean serial, mean predictive or waterfall. There are no phases, all are iterations, so on and so forth. But in reality, especially when new project is started, once new product is started, there is always envisioning stage or inception stage or initiation stage. Okay, we always need to do this work. We need to form the team. We need to set the product or project vision, project charter, roadmap, so on and so forth. I mean, we must need to do it in inception work. Scrum does it, but they don't call it a phase, but they call it, for example, sprint zero. Okay, and they do all that work in sprint zero just to show that these are iteration, but that's not iteration. That is more like a serial work, because we always have milestones at the end of it. Here, this is where Scrum focus the more, that is development or construction or engineering, whatever you call it. Okay, and here multiple iterations are run, maybe 4 or 5 iterations in a release. And once a release is completed, okay, the last stage, Scrum call it again a sprint or an iteration, but in fact it's a phase where your whatever you developed here need to be transit to IT, mean into the operations. That could be IT operations and support team. Okay, mostly the Scrum guys call it release sprint. Okay, they call it release sprint, or they call it hardening sprint. Different naming convention based on what work they are doing here. But discipline agile is very open. They say that when you are starting a new project or product, remember, new project or product, you always go through these phases: inception, construction, and transition phases, whatever you call them. Okay, so that's another difference, that discipline agile is very pragmatic. They really don't say that agile mean no phases. And the last thing is, discipline agile believe in lean governance. As I earlier mentioned, agile, especially the agile purists, for them, like, it's a sphere world. Governance. They say that we are autonomous, we are self-organizing, we shouldn't be governed, but that's not the case. However, mm, teams who are agile, who are awesome, who are fantastic, should be governed in a good way. Uh, and that way is, we call it lean governance. What lean governance says that uh, we must not be governing our teams based on the documentations produced. Instead, our governance should be more on lightweight milestones, We also call them risk-based milestones. Mean our milestone shouldn't be some artifacts or documents, but it should be more on like this type of lightweight milestones. For example, our inception phase or our initiation of a product or project will be completed, and on the completion, our team and our stakeholders, their vision should be same. They both should be on the same page. If they are agreed, we are fine. Similarly, when we start our construction or development or engineering phase, the first thing we should be doing, we should be proving our architecture. That should be our first thing. Maybe you heard about walking skeleton. What is walking skeleton? What you do is you prove your architecture only for one or two features. Okay, what you do, you go through the whole architecture of your product, but only for one or two features. It really helps you to ensure that the product or the solution you are developing, it will be feasible. It is very, very important milestone. Okay.
Doctor, can we justify this as prototyping as well?
Uh, I would say, okay, now that's the thing. Even this construction work, it could be done for the prototype. The purpose of prototype is like we want to check that the solution we are building is acceptable by the clients or not. Here, the purpose is little bit different. I understand prototype is similar. The only difference is here you are thinking more like from a technical point of view, from technology point of view, where you are developing a working skeleton to see that, okay, the architecture you are building would be successful. It could be successfully integrated into the current system or not. Prototype, the focus of prototype is no doubt you create very few features, but the focus of prototype is you show it to your stakeholders or your customers to get the feedback. Here, the purpose is to ensure that the technology you are using, the architecture or the solution, can it be integrated with the current solution or not? In other words, you don't show it to your customers, or you don't show it to your users, not the customers, but the users who are using the product. Okay, that's the purpose of it. So very minute difference, but still same. Okay, and then once your development work start, another light risk-based milestone is continued viability. What does it mean? It means that you keep on working with your team as a manager, okay, for the purpose of governance, to see that the work they are doing, it is still viable or not. If it's not viable, why to keep on spending money? Why not pivot and do something else? So this is another milestone. Again, no documentation, but more risk-based. And once your iteration of a release is completed, sufficient functionality should be produced. That's important, and your senior management should be happy that sufficient functionality is produced. Again, no comprehensive documentation, but the actual functionality or features. Similarly, there are some other light-based, light weight milestones are in the transition stage, that is production ready and delighted customer. Production ready is when you are starting the transition, and delighted customer stakeholder is when they are using and liking it and like to use it and like to recommend other people to use your product. So this is the governance aspect, but it is not a very rigid governance. It is more like a lean governance and lightweight risk-based governance. That's the difference between discipline agile life cycle for the project team and Scrum life cycle. Any question?
Doctor, I have one question. See, in Scrum, normally, we have certain ceremonies like backlog grooming and, planning. So are there any, mandatory ceremonies in Discipline Agile, or can we skip any
You
of
can,
those ceremonies?
you can, you can.
Okay.
It is very pragmatic. But it says choose your own way of working. Okay, you love to do daily coordination meeting or daily scrum, do it. Don't want to do it, don't do it. Similarly, you want to show demo to stakeholder after 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, you as a team need to choose. Similarly, uh, uh, what we call it, retrospectives, totally depends. Okay,
Mhm.
that is here. Okay, not here, it is even not shown here. Retrospective, you want to do it, your choice. Okay, you need to choose the length of your sprint. You need to choose the length of your daily coordination meeting or product demos, etc.
Isn't evolve your wow as retrospective, Faiz?
Yeah, that is evolve your bow is this is
Retrospective, right?
for sure. This is retrospective. This is given here. They put it under iteration wrap up, including product demo and viability check, that is continued viability, go forward decision, mean you should keep on working or you should change something or you should close the project, whatever decision. Okay, and evolve your way of working. That is your retrospective. I fully agree. Yeah. So should we move further?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Now, here these are, if you look on this life cycle, you can see inception, construction, and transition. Okay. Now, keep in mind these three phases, you can say phases or stages, whatever you call it. For each stage or for each phase, Discipline Agile provides you guidance with the help of process goals. And these process goals are, there are around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 process goals. 8 process goals for the inception phase, 5 process goals for the construction phase, 2 process goals for transition, 6 for your ongoing, mean that will be used throughout. Recently, they added 3 more. So total 9 here, and in total 24 goals. Now, let me show you something by changing the screen a bit. Okay. Here it is. What PMI did, let me come out of it. Okay, let me come out of it. But they developed a web browser for DA toolkit, and they continuously improve it. Now on your screen, can you see something? It's a black screen, isn't it?
Yes, it's black. Now we can see some.
Okay.
Okay, the browser.
Yeah, so that's DA browser. It is version 5.2. Okay, so if you click on it, Discipline Agile Delivery 5.2. Here, what they do is, they are asking for my password and stuff. Here, for inception phase, okay, there are all those 8 process goals, construction 5, transition 2, and ongoing around 9 process goals. If you click any of them, okay, for example, secure funding, it will show you the goal diagram for this process goal. Goal diagram consists of 3 components: process goal, decision points, and agile practices and strategies. Okay. The good thing they did is when you click on secure funding, it gives you the it gives you a brief of what does it mean secure funding and what work you do. And when you click choose funding strategy, it tells you when you are going to choose the funding strategy, you can choose from here. These are different agile practices available to choose the funding strategy. Not only they provide these names, but also for each of the agile practice, uh, they tells you what is this practice and what are the trade-offs, what are the advantages, disadvantages, in which setting it will be helpful for you, so on so forth. Similarly, for each process goal diagram is available that is interactive and provide you all the details required to develop or choose your own way of working. You can clearly see that few of the process goals have 2 to 3 decision points, and there are many who have a lot of decision points. So mean it is very, very thorough toolkit. You can go through all of them and you can clearly see
So
that
Dr. Faz, we can get the access of DA browser if we have the login ID of the
for
PMI
sure,
with us.
you can. It's free.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So 2 process goals for transition and then other process goals for ongoing. Recently, they added these 3 process goals in July. Measure outcomes. Okay. What are the different ways to measure outcomes and how to organize your matrices. Matrices mean performance measurement matrices, and how to intake the work mean from business to technology. Uh, this
Guys,
is
give me a minute, I'll be back, huh?
Yeah.
I'll just be back.
So we can have a quick 2 minutes break, and after that we can just finish our today's session.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Cheers. Okay. So this browser is like highly recommended, especially you want to go deep into discipline agile. Obviously, it's not required for senior Scrum Master certification. I mean, all of it. There will be many components that will be required, but because like it's pretty thorough, pretty detailed. In fact, the book Choose Your Wow that is freely available for you guys, both on PMI's learning portal where you got access and PMI's website. You can download it where all these 21 process goals are given except these last 3. Okay, you can read all the details of these process goals and goal diagrams and decision points and agile practices and tools in choose your way of working. But if you prefer to read it in soft copy in an interactive fashion, this is fantastic. Everything is given here.
So, first, do we need to know all these processes by heart? No.
No,
Okay.
no, nothing. It's just like a PM book, a Bible that you can keep
Okay.
with you when, if you are an agile coach, for example, okay, and you are working with your team, uh, then this will be very helpful, not for just for the certification. For example, if your team is making decision how to form a team, okay, I mean, you just started your project, your organization is working on how to form a team. When forming team, you think about these things. From where team members will come, okay? Uh, Team evolution
Evaluation.
strategy. This is not in sequence though. Size of team, structure of the team, member skill, team completeness, team longevity, geographical distribution, organizational distribution, time zone distribution, so how to support the team, and what about the availability of team members. Uh, these are the things you think of. So you can use this toolkit to discuss different points and also different strategies. For example, where your team members will come. Do we have already existing product team, long-standing stable team that is preferred by discipline agile, or we are going to choose our team members from other product teams, or we are going to borrow the team members, or we are going to make a new team. Okay. uh, and good thing is about each of it, uh, what does it mean, the definition of it, and its trade-offs, advantages, disadvantages, and in which environment this particular technique will fit in or work best is given here. Okay. So it means that it is something very, very sophisticated. So you can do a very good team development, and your team can easily choose their way of working and can always evolve it by using this toolkit. Any questions?
Okay. No, this is very interesting.
Yeah,
Faiz,
it is.
you know,
Yeah, it is
very,
very
very
thorough, very
interesting.
detailed. And believe me, Farhan and Mustafa, this particular uh, toolkit is only for development, delivery
Mm.
teams. Here we are not talking about DevOps, we are not talking about value streams, we are not talking about enterprise level agile. The same type of help is available when you are going to do your DevOps, when you are going to do the value stream or agile level, enterprise level agile. The same type of goal diagrams are available that will help you to how to work, for example, with the marketing, or how to do research and development, or how to work with the procurement, or in DevOps, for example, how to work with IT operations or IT support team, or security teams, or data management teams, so on and so forth. Everything is available and in very much detail. This particular is all these 24 processes are only for solution development, discipline agile delivery only.
First, just one question. You know, like if you see in the diagram that you have, there are some places with an arrow upwards, and some places like structure team does not have any arrow.
Yeah.
So what does that really mean?
Yeah.
And why
I,
some are highlighted and some are not? So you
yes.
can explain that.
Yeah. I was planning to explain when everybody is here, but
Okay, then we'll do it
no, no,
tomorrow.
no. You
Let's do it
asked, but
tomorrow.
no. Yeah, I
Let's
think.
do it tomorrow. I'm fine.
This is. I can explain it, and I will explain it tomorrow. Okay. Quickly, there are two differences. One is with arrow, other is without arrow. With arrow is mean it is in sequence or in priority wise. Mean the top one is highly recommended, and the second one is second highly recommended, so on and so forth. If there is no arrow, none is recommended.
Okay.
None is like something that is the best technique. Okay. For example, if you look structure of the team, structure of the team could be component team. That mean a team is each team is working on different component or a different feature, or focus solution team, or internal open source program team, service team, single team, could be anything. Okay. In case of size of a team where there is an arrow given, what it is saying that if our team is small, it's very good. Okay. But teams could be of medium size, could be of medium size of teams, or could be large team of teams. Okay, but preferred is
Small
small
team.
small teams.
So the
Now,
ones that are bold is the preferred solution
yes,
by DA, but you can go with any one which you like.
yeah, the difference between bold and unbold is, for example, most of the organizations are not very, very agile at the moment. They are still going towards agile, isn't it?
Right.
Okay. Uh, now, let me give you example here. Okay, here. Okay. Uh, Highly recommended is your team members should be co-located. Okay.
Mhm.
But the thing is, by current situation, COVID situation, or overall global world, this is something that is not very much possible or practical, or there are strong chances that you will have some virtual team members. So what discipline Agile says, the best thing is team should be co-located because it is priority one, but you can start with partially dispersed team members as well. It is a good starting point.
Okay.
Okay. For example, if you look on secure funding, they say that, okay, here, if you look on choose funding scope, it is saying that best funding scope is when funding is allocated to your value stream. Second best is when it is allocated to your line of business. Third best is your product or long life teams. But organizations are not very agile. Still, they are not ready to provide funding for value stream. So in that case, if you can start from here, funding is given for a product instead of a project. For a product or long-lived stable team, it's very good start. But your aim should be towards funding for
Value stream.
value stream.
Value stream.
That's the meaning of it.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other question?
I'm good.
I'm good, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Mustafa. Thanks, Farhan. And we will be starting our session tomorrow. That's end of today's session. And have a good rest of the day.
Okay.
Same to you. Have a good
Thank you.
night. I know it's
Yeah.
2:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's 2:30. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Really
So as
appreciate
just
for your efforts. Really appreciate it.
yeah, most
Thank you.
welcome.
That's just one thing for this PM training, the website. How are we going to log in to see any material?
Yeah, at the moment, your focus should be exploring this DA browser, also
Okay.
going to PMI LO choices. You know,
Okay.
are you already logged in on this PMI LO choices?
I have, yes.
Yeah, so keep on using this content. I really don't want to take your focus from this learning portal, this browser towards that.
Okay.
We will be doing it once we will complete the training so that you
Okay.
shouldn't be mixing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just read from this discipline, Agile, Senior Scrum Master, the topics over there.
Everything is in your PMI learning portal. In
Okay.
on PM training school, you will be getting these videos. Also, you will be getting exam simulator and study plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All good.
Sure. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Good morning. Bye bye.
Yeah.